From The Independent, Supreme Court will decide if Trump can be kept off 2024 ballots after January 6th insurrection. I love how they make an affirmative statement in the headline, despite the fact the headline is literally, the Supreme Court will decide if there's actually any question of the insurrection in the 14th Amendment. Because the argument is, if Trump did engage in insurrection, then the 14th Amendment would keep him off. However, well, actually, that's not fair. That's not fair. The 14th Amendment likely doesn't even apply to the president. And Trump hasn't even been charged with any kind of insurrection. So we're nowhere near there. But of course, The Independent is going to affirmatively state in the headline after it already happened. But anyway, that's why I used this source, because, we love our leftist friends. The reality is the Supreme Court has granted cert to Donald Trump. He will go to the Supreme Court and have his argument. The Supreme Court will listen to the argument as to whether or not Trump can be removed from these ballots. This could end the issue once and for all. So I hope they answer this really, really quickly. I don't know when they're expected to come into session, but there's a slim chance the Supreme Court comes out and says, actually, yes, Trump did engage in insurrection, and so he's off the ballot, and it pulls him off the ballot everywhere. Not really going to happen, but look, the reason Roe v. Wade got overturned at the Supreme Court is because a group, I think it was Mississippi, right, where they filed the lawsuit.
Yeah, Mississippi was
They sued because Mississippi was set a ban on abortion, and right. So they sued saying, hey, you can't do this, and the Supreme Court said, not only can they, Roe v. Wade's gone, everybody.
Yeah.
So if they just did not challenge it and let Mississippi do what they wanted, Roe v. Wade would still be there.
Yeah.
They lost it all. So there's a possibility this could backfire, but I really do think Supreme Court's going to side with Trump on this one.
Yeah, I think it'll backfire. It actually goes back to what we're talking about.
You think it'll backfire?
I think it'll backfire. Yeah, I think the court. I think the court's just going to say you can't do that. You guys can't be throwing presidential candidates.
No, I meant backfire on Trump.
No. I think backfire on the lefties.
Right.
Backfire in the sense that the states that are meddling around. I mean, Colorado's not as much of a target state. Maine has the one congressional district that sometimes goes for Republicans. But it goes back to what we were saying about the communists. In this country, we're not communists. Therefore, we're innocent until proven guilty. People have heard of that. Innocent until proven guilty. President Trump has been convicted of absolutely nothing.
He's not been charged.
No, he hasn't been charged. That's convicted. So therefore, he's an innocent man under the rule of law.
Nobody has been charged with insurrection, have they?
Conspiracy to commit, I think, is what they went after.
Conspiracy. Okay.
I think it was conspiracy to commit it, not actually committing it.
Okay.
They were clever with that. But nonetheless, we're talking about President Trump on the ballot. He's convicted of absolutely nothing. And these are people who claim to be for the people. Yeah. Like, really? So if an innocent man, because you're innocent until proven guilty, can be thrown off ballots because you don't like him or because you think he may have done something, I mean, this is basically chaos.
What about Santos?
Yeah, same thing.
He's not been
nothing either.
Yeah. And he got that's crazy.
Infuriating. But Mendez gets to stay with gold bars in his pockets and in his
how has he not been expelled?
Didn't
they issue a superseding indictment?
I do not know.
We got more on this guy.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Santos has been accused of a lot of things, but he's not been convicted of anything, and that's crazy.
He's guilty of being awesome.
The only two people we ever thrown out before were actually convicted of something, so that's a different standard.
But the reason that it happened is because Republicans are stupid and because Democrats are crafty.
Democrats are more than happy to vote with.
Of course.
And I was there voting. Less than half the Republicans voted for that. Interestingly enough, the new Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. The majority leader, Steve Scalise, the majority whip, and everyone in leadership voted against removing him, as did most Republicans. But the committee reported it out nonetheless, overriding leadership.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, Kevin McCarthy's the one who set up the committee. He resigned now. But the new speaker, Mike Johnson, voted against it. I don't know how Kevin would have, I don't. And
so basically, what was it? How many Republicans ended up voting?
It ended up being like 111 voted no to expel him, including me, and about 90 or so voted yes to expel him. So the minority of the Republicans, but every Democrat, I think one abstained, but basically every Democrat was more than happy to throw him out.
Everyone, I can't imagine.
Yeah, convicted of nothing.
I can't believe that many Republicans voted to throw him out. I mean,
105 Republicans voted to expel.
It's ridiculous.
How many voted against?
Let's see. More than 100 Republicans joined Democrats to expel Santos, and Newsweek has the list. Let's all right, let's grab a name at random. We're gonna shuffle it up a little bit, and then Ron Estes of Kansas, you are a scumbag.
Unlucky guy.
Unlucky.
Did I see Dan Crenshaw in there?
Oh God, please.
Dan Crenshaw. Dan, you're a scumbag.
Why on earth would Dan Crenshaw vote for that?
I don't know, man.
Is there anybody in here? I know that I'm gonna have to call a scumbag because I will. Let me go through. See if I see. We almost had him on the show. He's been invited several times, but he canceled on us every time. He's not a scumbag for that. He's allowed to cancel on us. You don't have to come on the show. Nobody owes me any favors. But voting to expel Santos, who is not convicted of any crime, is pathetic, spineless behavior. Yeah. So who's? I don't know if I know anybody in here because we mostly have the Freedom Caucus people in here. I mean. They like to say, oh, Tim Pool's right wing. Where I was like, it's like moderate libertarians on this show. You know what I mean? So if it's like Freedom Caucus people, we're usually friends with them and they're usually doing the right thing. We don't got to worry about them. But as for the rest of these people, I don't even know who these guys are. Ken Buck. Sorry, Ken, you're a scumbag. Andy Barr. Scumbag. Like you can apologize after the fact. All right, but right now I just call you scumbags. Anyway, what were we talking about?
How the Republicans are unreliable and they will vote to boot people that are Republicans, whereas the Democrats obviously wouldn't. You look at the way that and granted, this isn't in Congress, but it's still the same ideology. The way the Democrats are flipping out and making a massive issue over the firing of President Gay from Harvard. Right. Mm-hmm. They're all swearing up and down that it's because of racism when the woman clearly had massive amounts of perjury in her history, and she made terribly anti-Semitic comments in front of Congress. That's totally justified to ask her to step down, especially considering Harvard has a reputation to worry about. The anti-Semitic comments alone are enough for Harvard to be like, you have made remarks that do not line up with Harvard's values. You need to step down. Mm-hmm. That you can disagree, but at least it makes sense. And to allow her to stay and sit there and run her and to not take care of the problem and sit there and defend her as if she has done nothing wrong and as if it's just based on racism is absolutely insane. But that's the way that they behave. They will not go after their own. And anytime there's a chink in the Republicans' armor, they're going to go for it.
I can't wait, because we got elections coming up. And we get more and more elected officials running for re-election who want to come on shows like this. Well, they're not going to come on this show. That's not going to happen. People say to me all the time, like, Tim, you got to be nice. Otherwise, they're not going to want to come on your show. And I'm like, good, I don't want them. I mean, look, you got Comer on there. There's absolutely people I'd love to have conversations with. But I'm sorry, man. If I'm going to be a dick about it. I think one of the scummiest things you could have done is they could have waited. They could have been like, okay, we got some evidence. Let's get it documented as this country is supposed to do to prove that he's guilty, and then get a unanimous vote and be like, you're guilty of this stuff. You get out of here, man. Instead, it's just guilty until proven innocent at this point. It's a dark path for this country, and I'm sick and tired of Republicans. I see, and what so many Americans see, and I think this is why so many Americans are pro-Trump and voted for Trump in 2016. And I was late to the party. You know it, but look at this. Republicans get on their knees for Democrats. The Democrats crack the whip when the Republicans say, yeah, please, may I have another? Remarkable. I will say this. I'd love to advocate for the impeachment of Joe Biden at this point on principle grounds, but strategically, please don't impeach the man. Let him stay in there so he can lose in 2024.
I understand impeachment. You still got to convict in the Senate. So
right.
Joe
okay.
Biden
Well, so in that case, impeach him. Right.
He would not be removed, but he would not be removed from office. And
so we can do it then.
You could impeach him, but there's no way he'd be convicted. So what I say to people is, look, we got an election coming up here in November, so you want to get rid of him. That's the best effective way to do it. Missouri
State Senator Bill Eagle sponsored a bill to disqualify Joe Biden from the 2024 ballot. ALEX posted this at 8:22 p.m. today. It says...
you know what I think? I'd love to advocate for the impeachment and conviction of Joe Biden. But I think you're right, because we were for a long time like this guy, the Burisma stuff. I mean, the border stuff. I think the border, the facilitation of the immigration crisis. Yeah. He's suing Texas now. He's facilitating this. I think you can say this is high crimes and misdemeanors, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But I kind of think if the Republicans impeach Joe Biden, thinking, hey, we'll earn some political points, he'll never get convicted. He'll get convicted. Democrats will be like, gee, you know what, Republicans, you're right. Biden's got to go. Good luck in November. Because then they bring in Gavin Newsom. And they would love to get Joe Biden to swap out somehow.
Gruesome Newsom, yeah.
Gruesome Newsom.
We couldn't even impeach Mayorkas, who's Homeland Security Secretary, who won't enforce the border. And, he'd be easier to impeach him. We still haven't done that.
I hate the fact that they are so unable to do anything. Like we're gonna talk. We're gonna have Vivek Ramaswamy in the next week, and he's talking about making major cuts, real substantive cuts. Like I would love to see the government just shrink a little bit. Never mind, well, actually, I would love to see the government stop growing and stop trying to insert itself into, things that essentially are personal and stuff. But I mean, I would give, just anything to see it just stop growing. Just stop.
First stop doing more harm.
Yeah. That's what you do. First thing you do is stop the bleeding, right?
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.